Hello, I'm Steven, and in this video I'm talking about how I increased the response rate of business brokers. Lots of times when I was first starting out in uh, searching for a business to acquire, you see an interesting business, you fill out the form and click submit, and it doesn't seem like the brokers always get back to you. Maybe the automated system, you get that NDA, and then perhaps the automated response, but then it just seems like the deal dies from there and nothing really goes on or happens. And so these are some things that I learned that helped me out greatly in increasing the response rate of the brokers. So the first one is having a buy box. Maybe that's obvious once you have one and you're in it for a while, but when you first get started, you kind of think you know what you want, but you may not actually know what you want. And so you need to get realistic on what you need and want in a business and what you're looking for, and then that's going to get you much more clear and will help the rest of these things to follow. So part of that is writing down your buy box, unless you have an incredible memory. Probably is a good idea. That lets you firm in exactly what it is instead of being fuzzy. It lets you be really clear about this. And this is kind of akin to you've probably heard how Jeff Bezos, for meetings, he has them write out a memo about what they're going to talk about at the meeting first, and then they read the memo. And the reason why is to write out that memo about the meeting. You have to be real clear on exactly what's going on, and not just fuzzy ness that can come in with slides. And so by writing down your buy box, you're going to have to get super clear. Some items in my buy box, I have location, price, uh, required SDE, maybe some types of businesses as examples, and some firm knows types of businesses I want to stay away from as well. So along with that, now that you have a buy box, what helped me, that meant that I no longer needed to submit information to brokers about deals that weren't actually in my buy box. So instead of having 150 whatever deals that you're finding and you're sending them out to all the brokers, just looking for the needle in the haystack, you're starting to get more clear on that, and so that's reducing the number of requests you're sending out. So then it's less of them, and then that ties in with you don't want to do a lot of reach outs to a broker. If you reach out to 30 different deals, they're not going to think you're very serious. They think you're just trying anything and everything. You're just spamming them, causing them extra headaches, too many emails. And then likely too, if you're doing that, probably you're not clear on your buy box, and so probably you've submitted a request for businesses that are in wildly different price ranges, and that's realistically not going to be how that is in real life. Once you get clear on your buy box, your price range is going to narrow in. It's not going to be perfectly one price, but it is definitely going to get a lot more narrow what works because you need enough for debt servicing, and then you also have your own limitations of how much you have to put down. So again, if you're reaching out to a gazillion different businesses, it tells the broker that probably you don't know what you're doing at all, and you're just a waste of time for them. So another thing that can increase your response is moving fast. Sometimes we'd have deals that we'd look at. I even had one recently this week. I just had put it in my pipeline. I just hadn't looked at it yet. And you know what? I went and looked at the listing, and it was already a sold business. Sometimes there's other things going on behind the scenes that you don't see in the listing. Maybe there's another buyer that already has an NOI accepted, or maybe there's one that's close, or a few that are close. And so if there's already some buyers in that are deeper along in the process, unless there's some really compelling reason why you should be moved up front, they may ignore you and just hold on to you for later in case something doesn't go well with those buyers. But that can be a reason why you're getting ignored. So, if you see a good deal, you need to get in there and start talking to the broker and the seller as soon as you can and find out if it's the right deal for you. So, one of the important things when you do reach out to a broker for the first time about a business is you need to tell them a little bit about you and a little bit about this business and why you like it and why it's a good fit for you. So they don't want you buying something that you're not going to be able to buy. And part of that, especially with SBA loans, you need to be able to have a relatable experience for them to think that, oh, hey, yeah, this is a good fit, and we're going to give you a loan for this. And so part of this, you would need to tell them why you like this business. Is it a hobby that you have that fits in? Do you have knowledge? Do you have a brother that knows about this industry? There's got to be some connection there that's going to help you have a good angle on this business. And if you think about it and you put some thought into it, likely you can come up with some aspect for most any business. So this is showing that you put some thought and effort into this, and you're not just again spamming out to all 50 or 100, 200 listings. You specifically looked through some listings and you said, hey, this one really looks like it could be a good fit. It's worth the time to dig in deeper. So we talked about skill set. That's something else. So you told them why you like the business, and then you can tell them why you're a good fit for this business, what skills you have, what you'd be bringing, maybe some gaps the business has. Whether in my case it'd be a technology upgrades to business. So I typically go somewhere with that with brokers, saying how I have experience with an ERP and implementing processes for businesses, and so that's my angle that I take. But everyone and every business can have a different angle there. Again, it shows you're thinking about it and just showing that you're not simply spamming. How you will fund this deal is also helpful. The broker wants to make sure you have enough money and that you have a clear path to that funding. And also, some deals might not be SBA compatible. I know I've hit some on Flippa where they're in another country, so that rules them out, or maybe the seller just doesn't want to deal with the SBA. And so that's important to just put that out there, what you're intending, and then let them tell you no if it's not a good fit, because you want to find out sooner than later too. No point in you wasting any more time or mental energy on a deal when it's not going to be a good fit for you either. And then kind of a final finishing touch there in that reach out to the broker. You can tell them that you're looking to sign an NDA. Lots of times with these sites, that's part of the automated process of contacting them. They have you sign the NDA, but if it's not, you can request that and say, hey, I want to get more information. I'm like to sign the NDA for the business if you send that over to me. That just shows them that the process is normal. To see an NDA, you're not going to get complex financial information from pretty much any listing unless you have signed an NDA. So it's just showing that you know what you're doing and you're not a total newbie. All right. Another aspect is tracking deals to know if a follow-up is needed. I've had a few deals where I did the initial reach out and I didn't really hear anything back about it, and it just seemed like it died. But then when I reached out, something happened. And so I use Odoo Project. I have a video about deal searching and how I use Odoo Project for that that you can watch if you're interested. But I have columns of different stages a deal is in, and if a deal is in a stage and stuck, I go in and I see why and see what my last activity was, either the last note that I had, and then that's given me the opportunity to poke brokers and see what's up. And I have had pretty good response for that. I had a broker that it just seemed like he was busy or something and just kind of lost track of my email. And I poked him and he responded and got back to me, and I got more information, got a meeting with the seller. It's just that poke is all it took, but because I had it tracked and I was on top of it, it made it happen. I had another one where the seller just wasn't quite ready with some things, and maybe they're talking with another buyer. Who knows? Just that poke again, it brought the broker back into the conversation with me, and I moved further along on that deal. So I definitely the follow-ups. If you have a deal that you've identified that's a good fit, and you're not hearing anything, poke them. But after a few times, if there just seems like there's no answers, 3 is probably a good rule of thumb. You may want to just archive the deal or remove it from your pipeline. Maybe check in one more time later, whatever you want to do there. But it's not really worth the mental energy if a broker is not going to talk to you on that. But I have had good success at poking brokers for deals that I am interested in. Back to the clarity of the buy box. Since I'm more clear on the buy box now versus when I started, these deals are worth my time to go poke because if they work out, it would be a good fit for me. Versus if you have 50 submitted, which of the 50 should you poke the brokers about? And it just would get crazy doing it that way. And so back to that foundation, that buy box is really the foundation of this, and that's how I've really been able to increase my response rates. And then aside from that, now that I'm more clear in my buy box, just trying to increase the volume of businesses that I'm uh, reaching out to brokers about and keeping a continual flow. So it also feels like I'm having more success now just because I have more volume, but I have quality volume instead of just raw volume of anything and everything that's for sale on the internet. So again, if you want to see more about uh, Odoo and how I've used that for the project management for deal sourcing, I have a video here about that. You can go and watch that next.